Shonen, Seinen, Isekai, slice of life. If those words sound like nonsense, you're not the problem. Anime just sucks at explaining itself. So in this video, I'm fixing that. I'm gonna break down every major anime genre, and by the end, you'll know exactly what you like. But before we jump in, if you enjoy anime content like this, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton and tells me to keep making videos like this. Alright, let's get into it. First up, Shonen. This is the most popular anime genre, and if you've watched anime before, you've definitely seen this. Shonen is targeted at younger male audiences, but honestly, everyone watches it. It's all about action, growth, friendship, big battles. The classic formula is a young hero starts weak, trains hard, faces stronger enemies, and slowly becomes powerful. Think of shows like Naruto, Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia. If you see the word shonen, it usually means high energy story focused on action and growth. Next, shoujo. Shoujo is basically the opposite audience, targeted toward young female viewers. Shoujo anime typically focuses more on romance, emotions, relationships, character development. The stories tend to be more character-driven rather than battle-driven. Famous shoujo anime include things like romantic dramas or emotional coming-of-age stories. You'll often see love triangles, personal struggles, emotional growth. Examples: Fruits Basket, Ouran High School Host Club, Kimi ni Todoke. If you like heartfelt stories and emotional moments, this is where you want to be. Now let's level up. Seinen and Josei. These are like the adult versions of shonen and shoujo. Seinen is aimed at adult men, and Josei at adult women. But the key difference is maturity. Seinen stories are usually darker, more complex, more psychological, more realistic. You might see themes like politics, war, morality, human nature. Instead of simple good versus evil, the characters often live in gray areas. Some of the most critically praised anime fall into this category. Seinen often feels more like serious drama or thriller storytelling. Good seinen anime: Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, Berserk, Vinland Saga. Josei is the adult counterpart to shoujo. These stories target adult women, and they tend to focus on realistic relationships, work life, adult struggles, emotional maturity. Josei stories often feel more like Netflix dramas than typical anime. Instead of high school love stories, you might see stories about careers, marriage, personal identity, life decisions. They're usually more grounded and mature. Josei examples: Nana, Paradise Kiss. These shows don't hold your hand. They hit harder and stick with you longer. Now let's talk about the genre that basically took over anime: Isekai. Isekai is one of the biggest anime trends of the last decade. The word literally means another world. The premise is simple. A character from the real world gets transported, reborn, or trapped in a fantasy world. Common setups include being reincarnated after dying, getting trapped in a video game, being summoned as a hero. Isekai stories usually mix great isekai anime, Sword Art Online, ReZero, no game, no life. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. If you've ever wanted to escape reality, yeah, this is the genre for you. And real quick, if you've made it this far, subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future videos like this. Next, action and adventure. This one's simple, but it's also one of the most addictive genres in all of anime. Action and adventure anime are built around fast-paced storytelling, high-stakes journeys, intense battles, and constant progression. There's always a goal, something the characters are chasing. It could be becoming the strongest, saving the world, finding something lost, or surviving against impossible odds. What makes this genre so powerful is the sense of movement. These stories don't just sit still, they push forward. You're traveling with the characters, you're growing with them, and every arc feels like a new chapter in a bigger journey. And then of course, the fights. Not just random fights, but emotional, meaningful battles where characters overcome limits, rivalries explode, and everything is on the line. Now let's talk examples. Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. This takes action and turns it into pure intensity. Humanity on the edge of extinction, constant life or death battles, and twists that completely change everything you thought you knew. What all of these shows have in common is this: they keep you on edge. Now let's slow things down. Slice of life. Slice of life is almost the complete opposite of action anime. These shows focus on normal, everyday experiences. Things like going to school, hanging out with friends, working part-time jobs, small life moments. There's often no huge villain and no massive world-saving mission. Instead, the appeal comes from relatable characters, cozy vibes, realistic conversations. It's anime about life itself. Anime like Clanad. March comes in like a lion. Your lie in April. It's relaxing, emotional, and surprisingly powerful. Now for laughs, comedy, and parody. This is where anime stops taking itself seriously. And honestly, that's what makes it so great. Comedy and parody anime are designed to do one thing: make you laugh. But they don't just rely on simple jokes. They go all in. We're talking absurd situations, over-the-top reactions, completely broken logic, and characters that feel unhinged in the best way possible. And parody takes it even further. Instead of just being funny, these shows actually make fun of anime itself. They poke at overpowered main characters, dramatic speeches, training arcs, classic anime cliches. If you've watched a lot of anime, parody hits even harder because you get the joke. Anime like One Punch Man, Gintama, Konosuba. If you want something fun and chaotic, this is your go-to. Next, horror and psychological. Horror and psychological anime aren't just about jump scares or creepy moments. They're about getting inside your head and staying there. These shows are designed to build tension slowly, make you feel uncomfortable, and keep you constantly questioning what's real, what's right, and what's coming next. It's not always about monsters. Sometimes the scariest thing is the human mind. You'll see characters pushed to their limits, mentally, emotionally, even morally. And as a viewer, you're right there with them. You start asking, what would I do in this situation? Who's actually the good guy here? Is this going to end well or not? And a lot of the time, it doesn't. Now let's get into some examples. Your mind, emotions, and sometimes your sanity. Examples: Death Note, Tokyo Ghoul, Parasite. Another, if you like suspense, tension, and plot twists, you'll love this. Now let's go futuristic, mecha, and sci-fi. This is where anime goes big. We're talking giant robots, advanced technology, space battles, futuristic worlds. But mecha and sci-fi isn't just about flashy visuals or cool machines. At its core, this genre explores ideas, big ones, like what does it mean to be human? How far should technology go? Can power really bring peace? It mixes action with philosophy in a way that hits way deeper than you'd expect. Now let's break it down a bit. Mecha focuses on giant robots, usually piloted by humans. But those robots aren't just weapons, they often represent something bigger: control, responsibility, even the emotional state of the pilot. And then sci-fi expands the world. It introduces advanced societies, artificial intelligence, time travel, space exploration, and often shows us a future that feels exciting, but also a little terrifying. Now let's get into the examples. Neon Genesis Evangelion, Code Geass, Gundam series. But it's not just robots. These shows often explore deep philosophical ideas too. Next, sports anime. And don't skip this, because even if you don't like sports, there's a very high chance you'll still love this genre. Why? Because sports anime isn't really about the sport. It's about growth, rivalries, teamwork, and pushing past your limits. The sport is just the vehicle. At the core, these shows are some of the most emotional and motivational stories in anime. You're watching characters start from nothing, struggle, fail, train, improve, and slowly become something great. Examples: Haikyuu, Blue Lock, Kuroko no Basket. They're intense, emotional, and surprisingly addictive. Now, fantasy and supernatural. This is where anime completely breaks away from reality and builds something entirely new. We're talking magic systems, demons and curses, spirits, and hidden worlds, powers that go far beyond human limits. This genre drops you into worlds where the impossible is normal. But what makes fantasy and supernatural anime so addictive isn't just the powers, it's the rules behind them. The best shows don't just throw magic around, they create systems, how powers work, what they cost, and what happens when you push them too far. That's what makes the fights feel meaningful, not random. Examples: Jujutsu Kaisen, Bleach, Black Clover. If you like magical worlds and epic abilities, this is your lane. Next, mystery and thriller. This is the genre that turns watching anime into a game, because you're not just watching, you're thinking the entire time. Mystery and thriller anime are designed to keep you guessing from start to finish. They pull you in with questions like, what's really going on here? Who can you trust? And how is this all going to end? And the deeper you get, the more complicated everything becomes. These shows thrive on plot twists you don't see coming, investigations that slowly reveal the truth, and mind games where intelligence is the real weapon. Every detail matters. A single line of dialogue, a small clue in the background, even the way a character reacts It can all mean something, and the best part, you don't always get the answers right away. The tension builds, the mystery deepens, and when the truth finally hits, it hits. Examples: Death Note, Erased, Steins, Gate. Perfect if you like thinking while you watch. Now, romance. And yeah, romance exists in almost every genre, but some anime put it front and center. This is where the story is all about: relationships, emotional connection, and the journey of two people slowly getting closer. But here's the thing, romance anime isn't just about love. It's about everything that comes with it. Awkward moments, misunderstandings, personal growth, vulnerability, and sometimes heartbreak. These stories take their time. They build tension not through fights, but through feelings. A simple conversation can feel just as intense as a battle in other genres. A small moment, like holding hands or saying the right thing at the right time, can feel huge. Now let's talk examples. Toradora, Your Name, Horimiya. If you like relationships and emotional payoff, this hits hard. Next, ecchi and harem. Alright, this is where anime starts leaning more into fan service. These genres are a bit different from the others because the focus isn't just story, it's also about humor, attraction, and character dynamics. Let's break it down quickly. Ecchi is all about suggestive humor, not explicit, but definitely playful. You'll see. Awkward situations, over-the-top reactions, running jokes built around embarrassment or attraction. It's meant to be lighthearted, exaggerated, and not taken too seriously. Then there's harem. This is where one main character is surrounded by multiple love interests, and the entire story revolves around romantic tension, different personalities competing for attention, and the question of who they'll choose, if anyone. Sometimes it's serious, most of the time it's chaotic. Now let's get into the examples. High School DxD, To Love Ru, the quintessential quintuplets. Not for everyone, but very popular. Finally, music and idol anime. This is where anime turns sound into story. Music and idol anime are all about performance, passion, and chasing a dream. But just like sports anime, it's not really about the activity itself. It's about the journey behind it, the practice, the pressure, the self-doubt, and the moment everything finally comes together. These shows dive into what it feels like to want something deeply, struggle to improve, and put yourself out there for others to see. Because performing, whether it's on stage or in front of a crowd, is vulnerable, and that's where the emotion comes from. Now let's talk examples. Your Lie in April, Love Live, K-On! They're emotional, inspiring, and often visually beautiful. So now you understand anime genres, and more importantly, what you might enjoy. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below your favorite anime from each genre. I read every single one. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to check out the next video on your screen right now. Trust me, you're going to love it.